Sometimes this is where I get some of my best thinking out. It's because I realize that I can think about business, I can think about the reservation, I can think about everything's around me. Everything is everything and nothing is nothing. Everything here took a certain amount of hard work, it took a certain amount of skill, but also it took a certain amount of. Yeah, Vegas was built by the mafia, but even still, deep down inside, that there was at least one thing though. Jewish mafia did build this place though, but at least they were together. At least they built something out of nothing though, because a lot of Jewish people were actually thrown out of their fucking countries. All the way from Europe, all the way from Russia to, different parts though. And you gotta realize that deep down inside that they built something out of nothing, you know? And one of the neat parts is they always have, is they have, a mall here, and these two particular properties, Steve Wynn's property, and then you got Sheldon Adelson on the other hand, though. These two guys pretty much run Vegas, and most of their money actually comes from, what is it, Macau, Singapore, and all those properties. So, in retrospect, I looked at, how can I help? I've looked over the financial audit for my tribe, and I realized that we're in dire, financial need, though. But the thing is that money maybe not be our biggest thing. I think that we can get grants, loans, and whatever, though. But part of me has to realize that there's a very dysfunctional part, and it's tough because I don't want to necessarily look at my tribe like, that we're helpless. But I've gotten a chance to look at Arizona, Oklahoma, Florida, Connecticut tribes, Massachusetts tribes, and I've gotten an opportunity to sit down with some tribal leaders and tribal council, and take meetings with certain things though. And I realize that sometimes we may be incapable of really helping ourselves at first though, even though that we don't necessarily like white people running our shit. We've got to realize that helping yourself sometimes may realize that it may be time to relinquish some of the power. I'm not talking about all of it. Maybe not necessarily that we have to go to whites, but at least a tribe that is doing financially well and stable, and their credit rating is going back up, so they can at least start dealing with some of the banks and start realizing that they're getting rid of some of that, purge some of that old debt. Anyway, I had somebody post tonight on, what was it? They posted on a thing and it said, well, somebody was saying I should run for tribal chair. I'm like, nah, I don't want to be a tribal chairman, man. Like, I got in some trouble, way back that prevents me from being anything like that. So, but one of the things was that I started thinking, I'm like, somebody else posted, they were saying, well, you at least have to live on the reservation for a year. I said, what are you posting about laws and ordinance for though? What the fuck are we exactly, what would I govern? The coal companies went from $30 to $2 on the New York Stock Exchange, and all I know is that it sucks, I realize that we got to be able to help ourselves. Politics and business people are two separate people. Politicians fucking spend money. Business people make money. I have not gone to sleep in 36 hours, and this is a typical day for me. I'm always thinking, I'm always researching, I'm always thinking about how to get better at my craft. How to be hungry. I ask myself, if you don't have any money in your pocket, why the fuck are you going to sleep? I used to tell that to fighters. I used to tell that to salespeople I used to, build from scratch. Why are you going to sleep? Just always thinking about necessarily even how we can get to the next level, but how can we dig ourselves out of this hole? You know, we'll get there though.